Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today, as always, is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are mixed this morning with S&P futures up 0.18%, Dow futures down 0.06%, and Nasdaq futures up 0.67%. Today's drop in treasury yields boosted pricier parts of the stock market, which fared nicely for the Nasdaq 100 this morning. The dollar remains near unchanged, and oil has fluctuated in the wake of its worst week since October. The bond market is still in main focus this week, with the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield dropping to 1.68% from the highest it had been in about 14 months, following soothing comments from Federal Reserve officials. An onslaught of auctions this week and moves by the Fed to let a key bank capital lapse could be a catalyst to further volatility. The Treasury sell-off last week served as a stark reminder that investors remain concerned that a stronger economic recovery could lead the way to inflation. Despite reassuring comments from policymakers, suspicion remains as to whether price pressures could force the Federal Reserve to tighten monetary policy sooner than current guidance suggests. Over in Europe, the Stoxx 600 index also saw fluctuation as gains in tech were offset by declines in travel firms. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and they were flat to a little lower earlier this morning. They've since turned around, and you're seeing them trade higher, which is a good sign. And yeah, there are definitely being some gains seen in the technology shares this morning. As of late, the market's really been overly concerned with the rising yield curve. The Fed is confident that these increasing yields is really just a sign of the coming economic rebound. Now, the key here is that Powell is set to speak this morning and then again on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you can be pretty confident that his speeches will be tailored to really keep the financial markets on a path higher. Europe opened up lower, then turned around and started trading flat to higher. The key concern is there's two key concerns here in Europe. Number one is there's talk of additional and extending the lockdown measurements in Germany and England. Now, that's bad for oil. That's bad for, especially the travel and leisure stocks, which are seeing some losses this morning. And then there's the issue with the Turkey, where the president fired their chief central banker after he raised interest rates. You can't have politicians setting, monetary policy. That's why the Turkish lira is under pressure this morning. This is a concern for European stocks. You're seeing the volatility is really dropping in the TUR, the ETF. Mainly because it's a big concern over there. So, but the S&Ps is what I'm really watching, and they are doing well. So I'm positive for this morning.
Let's go ahead and move into earnings to watch today. Bill, what are we seeing as far as earnings go?
Well, the calendar's getting kind of light, as you know, but we do have a number of good earnings coming up today and tomorrow. 10 Cents Holdings, which is ticker TME, Tom Michael Edward. They're scheduled to report this afternoon, and the expectations for a 14% move when they release their earnings. Tomorrow, we've got some big ones. Adobe, they're coming out tomorrow afternoon, ticker ADBE, Apple David Boy Edward. They're priced for a 6% move. Let's not forget about GameStop, ticker GME. They're announcing tomorrow afternoon. It's priced for a 40% move, or $81. It scares me. At Home, the medical firm, ticker HOME, Henry Oscar Michael Edward, they're priced for a 21% move, or $7. In Steelcase, that's ticker SCS, Sam Charlie Sam. They're coming out on Tuesday. Expected move is 16%. So that's another good one to watch.
Well, how about economic reports, Bill? What are we seeing there?
Realistically, it's this morning we have at 8:30 the Chicago Fed National Activity Index, and at 10 a.m. this is a key one. This is the existing home sales numbers that are coming out. There's a lot of Fed speak going on today, starting with Fed Chairman Jerome Powell at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. At 10:30, you got Richmond Fed Bank President Thomas Barkin speaking. At 1 p.m., Mary Daly from the San Francisco Fed will be speaking. At 1:30, you have the Vice Chairman, Randall Quarles, speaking. And at 7:15 p.m. this evening, we have Fed Governor Michelle Baumann giving a speech.
Well, moving into our morning critical insights, starting things off with one on AstraZeneca, ticker AZN. Its vaccine was shown to be 79% effective at stopping symptomatic COVID-19 in the U.S. clinical trials and 100% effective at preventing severe disease and hospitalization. AstraZeneca's share price has since shot up. It's up 2.05% in pre-market. One on a new SPAC, which is launching and releasing its IPO today. Its name will be ticker CALQU and trade under Nasdaq. The launching price will be $250 million with a stock share price that will be capped at $11.50. One on an Enthusiast Gaming, ticker ENGMF. The company signed an integrated partnership with TikTok, an apprehension of recent success of both parties. Enthusiast was up 8.88% in pre-market. One on Altimmune, ticker ALT. Altimmune is partnered with Summit Biosciences for a nasal spray, which the two companies will be presenting at AdCovid. So it's a nasal spray for the treatment of COVID-19. And Altimmune's share price is up 2.68% in pre-market. In other news, Six Flags, ticker SIX, has announced the reopening of their park in Illinois, Six Flags Great America. In addition, the park's water park, which will also be open on May 29th. Six Flags share price is up 1.19% in pre-market. One on Sony Interactive, ticker SNE and RTS. They'll be acquiring an iconic fighting game tournament brand, Evo, and Sony's share price is up 0.70% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, one on Apple, ticker AAPL. Apple's been ordered to pay a $308.5 million fine to a personalized media communications company for the alleged infringement of a patent related to digital rights management. The lawsuit was originally filed back in 2015. They're finally paying up. Apple share price is up 0.61% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
You know, Shane, I break my news down into specific alerts. My alerts are set on for specific events and for industries. And it makes it very quickly for me to ascertain the headlines that are coming across and to decide very quickly whether these things are worth trading on. I have this FANG alert that I watch all the time. And, the reason why it went off today is because lawmakers have been issuing some tough rhetoric with regards to big tech for years. And there's going to be more this week. Apparently, the House Judiciary Committee, their antitrust panel, is preparing to release 10 or more small pieces of legislation specifically targeting big tech companies. I have one on Facebook, which is kind of interesting. Apparently, Facebook took down 1.3 billion fake accounts between the months of October and December of last year. And it has over 35,000 people working on tackling misinformation on its platform. This is one of the key issues that is going in front of the congressional hearings. I see that Amazon is backing this Deliveroo, which is an up-and-coming London IPO. What's really interesting about it is they're targeting a valuation of $12 billion for this stock. My Dow Jones 30 alert went off on CVX, which is Chevron, this morning. And the reason why it went off was because the EU demand is likely to be dropping for oil with these new lockdown measurements taking place. I see Nike, ticker NKE. UBS reaffirmed Nike as one of their top picks and saying that earnings and stock price momentum at Nike have not likely yet peaked. So they're seeing some additional gains coming forward for shares of Nike. And Goldman Sachs, this is kind of interesting. There's 11 IPOs this week. And Goldman Sachs is either the lead or one of the top book runners in 8 of the 11 deals. Whenever you're involved in the investment banking, that's where a lot of the firm's money is being made. And with that many deals coming out this week, I could see Goldman, getting some share appreciation because they are the main book runner in a lot of these deals. I move on a little bit to some of my other alerts that I see, such as, what's going on in the option headlines. GameStop, the 30-day option implied volatility is at 277. Now you got to compare this to the 52-week range of 78 to 554. So it's about in the middle. It's about mid-range. There's a ticker Upstart that's UPST, under Paul, Sam, Tom. 30-day implied volatility is at 141, whereas in the 52-week range is 107 to 178. So shares seem to be a little pricey for Upstart. And then, I mentioned the Turkey ETF a little earlier. That's ticker TUR, Tom, Uncle Richard. The 30-day option implied volatility is 36. That compares to the 52-week range of 36 to 88. This thing's getting crushed. It might even go lower, but keep an eye on shares of TUR, Turkey. I have some index ads, Decibel Therapeutics, that's ticker DBTX, David Boy, Tom, X-Ray, they're being added to the Russell 2000 index. And, for events, I have Unilever, ticker UL, under Larry. They're holding an investors presentation today. It might be an interesting listen to. But that's what I'm seeing today in my alert, Shane.
Let's move into our Trade Talk picks for today. I'm picking AstraZeneca. So ticker AZN, just off the news that we saw how it's showing to be effective, 79% at stopping symptoms, 100% at stopping anything severe, any hospitalization. This is important because AstraZeneca was really kind of facing some downward spiral for the scare they had been having in Europe, about the blood clots, about the potential fatalities. And so now hearing some good news, it's going to give them some momentum. It's up a little bit right now. It's up 1.87%. It's been teetering between that and 2%. But if you can get in at like $49 instead of the 50.13 where it's at right now, if it takes a dip this morning and we can get in at that, I think we can see some rise again. So my order is going to be at $49 for AstraZeneca. We'll see if it hits. I'll have a second pick though. It's Winnebago, ticker WGO. I say get into this one at $82.50. My pick because RV sales, they've been increasing over the last couple of years, especially lately, because they're not staying in hotels on vacation, so this is becoming a popular choice for people to do things with their families. Earnings are coming out this Wednesday. There might even be a sell-off at the open. So, watch, I wouldn't get it right at the open, but watch it, see if you can get in cheap. The call put ratio on Friday was good. It was 1.91. So I think this could be a winner. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Eli Lilly. That's ticker LLY. The fact of the matter is the stock dropped 11.5% last week. And the catalyst for the move lower was that the market was expecting additional positive comments from a roadshow that they were doing last Saturday, a week ago, Saturday. Before earnings last quarter, this stock was trading at around 200. You look at the option market and it's clearly pricing in that this stock is moving towards 190. You look at the stock right now and it's up a little bit, 0.35% at 184.95. I think anything under, 184.90 is a really good buy, and you're going to see some price appreciation in Lilly today. That's ticker LLY.
Well, let's talk about what's hot off the press. So we're going to talk about the news that's hitting the tape as we speak, looking at our newswire alerts. We're looking at the headlines that are streaming in. So, Bill, why don't we start it off? What are the headlines we should be letting traders know about today?
Well, ticker Charlie Paul Richard X-Ray, CPRX, Catalyst Pharmaceuticals. They just announced a 40 million share repurchasing program. ISUN, that's ticker ISUN, India Sam under Nancy. ISUN was awarded a $25 million contract to provide products for solar plus storage projects.
One on AimTech, ticker AME, they're to acquire Abaco Systems at a deal valued at $1.35 billion.
I think it's worth mentioning, the big buyout that happened, over the weekend, which is Kansas City Southern. That's ticker KSU, the railroad operator. They agreed to be bought by Canadian Pacific Railways. It's ticker CP in a $25 billion cash and stock deal.
One on JD.com, ticker JD. They're investing $800 million into ordinary shares of Data. That's ticker DADA. Here's a headline. Synex, ticker SNX, has jumped 11% in pre-market to $114.94 a share after their quarter one results beat estimates.
Here's one on Apple. The Wedbush's iPhone check shows Supercycle is still on track.
One on Ralph Lauren, ticker RL. The company said today that it's established a color-on-demand multi-phase system. Basically, by 2025, the company aims to use this color-on-demand platform in more than 80% of the company's solid cotton production. So something to do with efficiencies and the way they're making clothes.
Yeah, you know who they're working with? Ticker DOW, David Oscar William. You know, I see open table data shows one state's comps turning positive and likely a big positive for restaurant stocks. It's tagged for McDonald's. You see McDonald's has run from 212 to 220 just last week, and there's been some positive momentum in the stock.
One on CureVac, ticker CVAC. They said today that they're planning to expand and further specify the protocols of their ongoing late-stage clinicals and their COVID-19 vaccine candidate. Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing this morning.
Same here. So that'll do it for what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind, you can receive these same breaking stories we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Friday. I had Restaurant Brands International. That's ticker QSR. It opened at $63.67. It went gradually and steadily up to as high as $65.28 at its peak just before the close for a 2.52% gain. The stock ended up closing just a little bit lower at $64.78, which was still high at 1.74% gain for the day. So overall, pretty good pick for us. How'd yours do, Bill?
Well, if you remember, Shane, I did KB Homes. That's ticker KBH. It was an earnings play. It absolutely was. You know, the earnings, I believe, are coming out tomorrow. Here's the thing. You know, KB Homes opened up at $44.16. It hit a high on Friday of $45.20, beating both benchmarks of 1% or $1. I look at the stock. Remember, earnings, I believe, are tomorrow, Tuesday. It's up another 3% to $45.59. So KBH was a good, solid pick. It was a solid winner. And, you know, it's based on fundamental data. It's based on, facts. You go back there and you read the facts of what the company said over the last quarter, and you can really pick out winners and stocks that are going to move into winners, into earnings, and stocks that are going to have a move after earnings. But KBH was a good, solid pick on Friday.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.